Blackstone Audio presents Citizen Keane, The Big Lies Behind the Big Eyes, by Adam Parfrey and Cletus Nelson. Read by Bronson Pinchot. Preface. Adam Parfrey. Much of the material for this book came from a cover story I had written for the San Diego Reader, that city's weekly newspaper that published a good number of my feature articles, in addition to a column called Hell A, that called out my love-hate for my hometown, Los Angeles. On a 1991 trip to San Diego to finish research for another article, in those dark, pre-Google days, one discovered stories by actually talking to people and keeping one's eyes open in the physical world. I ran across an article in a regional throwaway about Walter Keane. Yes, Keane, Walter Keane, the supposed progenitor of garish big eye art, was alive and living in La Jolla, where he was promoting a self-published memoir that presented himself as an artist on the level of Michelangelo, and, stunningly, a victim to court verdicts, fraudulent journalists, and a vindictive, sex-mad ex-wife. Yes, here was a good story. On the phone, 80-year-old Keane tried to make friends with me in dirty old man style. We hardly spoke for 5 minutes before he asked whether I had a girlfriend. Then he urged me to describe her looks and then the frequency of our lovemaking. Before I was able to change the subject, he asked, "She doesn't complain about sucking you off, does she? That can be a real problem if she's not willing and eager. I had the best and can give you tips." What an odd bird, I thought, as Walter and I made plans to get together for an interview. But first, I made my way to a courthouse office building where I got dozens of pages of court documents Xeroxed. The originals are no longer available from court archives, but some of the juicier excerpts are repeated in this book. At home, I searched out a prized possession, a 2-volume monograph of Keane art, one titled Walter Keane, the other Margaret Keane, both with cellophane overlays above the precious tipped-in color plates. Both volumes were also boxed into a slipcase, mimicking ostentatious, high-end art books. What a strange production this was, as it included the musings of some stuffy, elitist wasp with 3 names. My girlfriend, who was a talented artist herself, told me how much she liked Margaret's paintings of depressed, Modigliani-like young women. I had to agree, despite society's dismissal of Keane art as being the worst sort of sentimental claptrap. The more I met with Walter Keane, the stranger came the story. The manipulations were extravagant, and no former friend or ally would ever back up his claims. When I dug into all his various court cases against Margaret, Walter came forward with
Sample complete. Ready to continue?